In March 1914, German researchers finally have managed to create a 20-inch or 508mm torpedo. This hopefully gives us a bit more power from our small forces. And in that matter, we might as well start creating ourselves a new class of destroyer. We are going to call these the Y10 class, because why not? That's what we're going to call them. And we'll see if we can fit some torpedoes onto these things. But let's begin with a main tower. We'll try to make a torpedo boat destroyer. So probably, actually, let's see if we can do something that is a bit sneaky. Although it does need, the difference is not that great in target signature. We'd have to go with a very small tower. That's 10.5, that's +9. So what would that look like if we started out with a small tower, and then we do need torpedo launchers, so twin deck launchers. Unfortunately, we don't have the triple launchers yet, so we'll see how many torpedoes we can fit on these things. So let's put two in the rear. One in the centerline position here, that's 6, and let's make it 8. So we'd have a fleet destroyer with, and that hampers the angles a little bit, but it's not too bad. A fleet destroyer with 8 torpedo launchers. We are going to need some funnels. Let's see, can't fit these, I think. There we go, this one we can fit. We do have a bit of an aft weight offset problem, but that should be enough in terms of engine efficiency with a single funnel here. And what's our target signature? There we go. So we've got 3 kilometer surface detection, and we'll see what we do. We're gonna need to have, I think we do need a secondary tower. So again, we're going to use whatever is the best here in terms of spotting. That doesn't interfere with the torpedoes. That should give us a relatively low profile. We are going to give it guns, obviously, and I think the 105mm single barrel is still the weapon of choice here. We can fit one center line as well. I'm just going to rearwards pointing, not really, but we can fit one. We should be able to fit one tower here, and there we go. That gives us a very slight forward offset, so let's move the funnel around a bit. In fact, let's see if we can get a second funnel going, just like that. That gives us maximum engine efficiency, a little overweight at the rear, but we can give it a bit more speed. What's the design speed of this? Oops. What's the design speed of this hull? This hull has 34.1 knots. So 34 knots is what we want. And we would like regular crew quarters. Let's see. So with 2 funnels, and with 34 knots top speed, we have 150% engine efficiency. That is pretty good. 2 guns only. But we can maybe fit a couple of 150 mils on here. Can I just side mount these? Yes, I can. We do have a slight aft weight offset, so I'm just going to put one on each side here, 150s. And I think that's all in terms of gun layout. We might not need the 1,400 tons. Let's see what else we can fit in these things. Natural boilers is fine. We can do geared turbines, which is going to increase things a little bit. We can give them a diesel engine, and definitely we want the best turning rate that we can get. So we're going to make these. Actually, they're supposed to be relatively maneuverable, but they will have to get close. Obviously, better armor. Give them a double hull. Reinforced bulkheads. Anti-flood. Let's see how we're doing on weight. These 105s, what penetration do they have? Let's see. On semi-armor piercing, they have 29 millimeters on 5,000 meters. So let's say they're operating within 2,500 meters. I think 46 millimeters of penetration on the AP shells is good, and we'll leave the high capacity, and we'll put it on increased HE, standard shell size. What's our current flush fire chance on this thing? 4.5% flush fire chance, not too terrible. We could go with cordite. Cordite 2 would reduce that further, or we're going with the tube powder. I think tube powder is the thing of choice here. And if we can increase the bursting charge a bit for that's less. Picric acid reduces the shell penetration, but gives us better HE shell damage. Not too interested in that, actually. We could go with Dunite, but it's gonna massively increase that. No, I'm sticking with TNT. So they don't explode very easily. Torpedoes, we want 20-inch torpedoes, because that's the and increased torpedo ammunition, because these are torpedo boat destroyers. Standard propulsion, we could go for faster torpedoes. It is going to reduce their range, accuracy, and increase the dot chance, but plus 30% speed makes them a lot harder to avoid. So I'm going to give that a try, see what that looks like, and then we will give them just a well, give them a decent range. How we on weight? We're still within displacement. Sonar definitely, and some minesweeping capability and some depth charges. That gets us overweight. Let's see. We haven't done anything with the armor just yet. Let's put everything in, and then we'll look what we can do about the weight. So we want 105 millimeter main guns, and that means this one isn't fitting anymore. There we go. We might have to remove one gun turret, actually. I mean, this isn't super effective anyway, and we are slightly overweight. We can put another 150 in, another 51 in there instead. That fits better and is less heavy. There we go. So we've got 105 millimeter forward turret. This is mainly a torpedo boat. So, but we are still overweight. We might have to just drop the depth charges, honestly, or we'll take simpler depth charges. So that's fine. We're not mine laying anything with these things, because that would be too heavy. We can put a very basic mine layer, but I'd rather not. Instead, we can just increase the armor ever so slightly on these things, just to balance the ship out as well. Give it a bit of splinter armor on the superstructure. The turrets don't get any armor, that's fine. And we can put a little bit of deck armor, although that is not going to make a huge difference. We can put a bit more into the forebelt, but we do need to balance the ship out, so that gives us 35 millimeter main belt. It's got slight forward offset, but can't easily balance that out. Deck armor is fine. Conning tower, can put a bit more splinter armor on the superstructure. There we go. And that's all we can fit. And that is a good, I think that's a good design. 8 torpedo tubes with increased torpedo ammunition. And a stealthy destroyer. What did we end up with? We ended up with 3,300 meters surface detection. So hopefully not that easy to spot. And we should have some good. We have got some good range, some good speed, and a fleet torpedo destroyer. So let's save that design. And then we're going to build a couple of them, just to make use of our new torpedoes. I'm not going to start necessarily refitting the other destroyers just yet, because they don't tend to live very long anyway. But it's good to get a couple more in. And we'll see if we still get to use them in the current war against the Soviet Union. Where, there we go. Let's construct maybe, yeah, let's make 10 of those. They are relatively, actually 10 might be too much, but okay, we're gonna have to fix that. That's the Y11. Okay, I'll be right back after fixing that. Okay, Y10 class under construction. We've got a bunch of the X-30s already operational at this point. We've got the Mackensen class battle cruisers, the long-range ones, still under construction for 8 months. And Sachsen is still under repair, but the rest of the fleet is actually fully operational. So let's have a quick look at the the situation on the ground. It looks like we are definitely making inroads, and I think Eastern Poland is about to fall. The Soviets have stopped their assault on, I think it was Hungary that they were attacking. And the Austro-Hungarians are making inroads into Ukraine. And we are making some progress into France. So on the ground, the war is progressing well. And I think we are, there are a couple of Soviet forces still sailing around. So I might, what do I have ready here? I might send Kaiser Wilhelm II. Let's see if we can intercept these ships. So let's send the Kaiser Wilhelm II, the Prinz Adalbert, and 2 destroyers. Let's send the Scharnhorst as well. So 2 battleships, a heavy cruiser, 2 destroyers, and we'll move them out and see if we can intercept this little task force here. Shouldn't be a huge problem. I don't think there's still a battleship in Kronstadt, but I think that's pretty much it in terms of the Baltic Sea. So I think we can start moving the battle fleet back into position of Kronstadt and just blockade the whole area. The task force, consisting of the battleships Kaiser Wilhelm II, lead ship of her class, the Scharnhorst, the heavy cruiser Prinz Adalbert, and 2 destroyers, has managed to intercept the last remnants, or parts of the last remnants of the Soviet Baltic fleet, who were trying to make a break for Allied territory. And we will see if we can send them to the bottom. Shouldn't be too difficult. We're facing 2 heavy cruisers, a light cruiser, and a destroyer. It's a bright day and calm seas as the German task force runs to intercept the smoke that has been spotted in the north. And I believe we have made contact with the enemy. Let's see what we're facing. This is, well, it's a cruiser. One of the older armored cruisers that we've seen before. And she's already got battle damage, so this wasn't us. So I believe these ships have already been fighting in different engagements. So we'll turn the Kaiser Wilhelm to starboard so she can get all her guns to bear. And then we will get the Prinz Adalbert to intercept, move all ahead flank, intercept that. The destroyers are just on screening duty for this one. So if there's an opportunity, then we'll send them in. Okay, closing the range. So far, no one's landed any hits, but I think we are almost in a position that the battleships can start can start unloading at these heavy cruisers, or armored cruisers, or whatever they really are. The Prince Adalbert got the forward guns on target as well, but I don't think she's got a great chance at this range. She might need to get a little closer. The battleships themselves may already be in a position, so still closing and still getting into a position to actually fire. These things might have torpedoes, I can't quite remember, but yeah, given that they've got prior battle damage, I'm not too sure if they actually want to engage. And I think we've spotted one of the light cruisers, which is also damaged. So we'll get the Prince Adalbert to engage that. And just turn to engage. And I think the battleships got good angles at them, so they may as well unload at that light cruiser as well. I think they found the range, 21% chance of hitting. Let's see if we can over penetrations, obviously. 305mm armor piercing, but I think even over penetrations and floods are going to be quite disastrous for this ship here. So let's see if we can still get the Prince Adalbert in range for her 254s to become effective. Just have to be careful with torpedoes that might eventually be launched, and then we can take on the rest. Where are they going? They seem to be willing to give battle. There's I think that's the destroyer over there, but they're all pretty badly damaged. That heavy cruiser is already extremely battered, and that wasn't me. I mean, not just now, but yeah, right now we're just how am I gonna say, aggressively disassembling this light cruiser here, and just be careful about the torpedoes. I might drop speed to 20 knots with the Prince Adalbert just to throw off any kind of torpedo solution. Light cruisers tend to have torpedoes around. And yeah, in case you forgot, because we haven't seen these in action for quite a while, the Kaiser Wilhelm II class actually have 203mm secondaries. It's these large turrets here on the side that you've seen opening up with the 305 main guns. And Prince Adalbert should be, yeah, she's in effective range as well. I think that ship is actually done for. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, she's sinking. Okay, perfect. That's the first one down. So let's start targeting the lead ship, the Nevsky, over there. And I'm going to start turning with the Prince Adalbert and take on the heavily damaged second cruiser here. That's an armored cruiser that's in terrible shape. Who have they been fighting except me? Or maybe these are ships that have escaped us earlier? Who knows? It's entirely possible. But let's get the Prince Adalbert swung around while the Kaiser Wilhelms are closing in at 19 knots. And I'm going to start taking on the Nevsky that is currently leading this formation. But yeah, I mean, these guys were already in a rough shape. I think the Soviet Navy is not in a good state anymore. We've got a funnel penetration on the Nevsky, and let's see, 25% and 7.5 on the secondaries. Yeah, that is pretty devastating if you get in range of the 203mm secondaries on these things. Have resisted the urge to call them Atlantico, but the idea is pretty much the same. Okay, we're gonna get the Prince Adalbert to swing around a little to the left and increase speed to 24 knots. I think the Victor, that heavy cruiser, the destroyer is almost ramming it because it's already on fire and in a terrible shape. I think they have figured out the hard way that this is a terrible idea, and yeah, penetrate. Mostly we're scoring over penetrations actually at these things. So how much? Oh yeah, okay, she's already, the other one's already done for. I was wondering how much armor they actually have, but I think they're sinking too fast. So we get the we get the cruiser to we get the heavy cruiser to start focusing on that destroyer. Turn in a little bit, and we can also turn in a little bit with the Kaiser Wilhelms, but they can now finish off the Nevsky. That should be a destroyer, but it's also in terrible shape. So I think all in all, the Soviet Navy is at this point so desperate that they're just trying to rescue their damaged ships, because they're seeing the battles on land coming closer, and wanted to try to send them to friendly ports, but that's not happening. And I think, sneaky, they have managed to get torpedoes away. So Prince Adalbert is taking some damage on her engines, unfortunately, but needs to go into full reverse and turning. And the Nevsky as well. The Nevsky as well is sinking. So that wasn't even a fair fight, or close to it, because these ships were already so damaged that this was really more like target practice for us. But yet another decisive victory, and I think probably one of the last cleanup operations in the Baltic. So we might have to start thinking about where we are going to go next from here. And it looks like the Japanese as well want to come in for a fight. Now, the König is a Nassau-class battleship, and we've got some really old destroyers here. We have to deal with 4 Japanese light cruisers. Now, the Nassaus generally have done pretty well, but we certainly don't have any modern ships in the Yellow Sea. So, looks like we're going to be fighting that one out. It's extremely cloudy while the destroyers are racing ahead, and I'm going to try and spot the light cruisers for me. But obviously, with these old destroyers, yep, there they are. Okay, with these old destroyers, I don't necessarily want to get too close, and it looks like they are disengaging or sailing away, or maybe they are also just struggling to find us. So, well, we'll roll in and see if we can get some torpedoes away. But yeah, these ships are obviously significantly faster than the very, very old König. But we'll see. Maybe we get some lucky hits in at long range. And if they run away, then I'm okay with that as well. This is just us defending our coastline here in the provinces over in China. So we'll see if we can make something happen with the destroyers. We are still reasonably too far away for a torpedo run. And obviously there might be enemy torpedoes incoming as well. So there's a whole gang of these cruisers. But we're way too far away for this. And they're smoking up as well. As if that's necessary in this weather. Can't see anything anyway. But we'll see. See if we can get our line of destroyers into launch positions for some torpedoes. But that'll depend on what the Japanese are up to. Okay, we've reacquired the target in the smoke. Gotten close enough for that. So there comes the fire in. I don't think we've ever seen the König. Yeah, the König has a trained crew. She's never been in battle, so it's not as experienced as the ships along the coastline. Where are these light cruisers going? Target this one for now. And I think I'm gonna start smoking up and launching torpedoes at this stage, because we don't want to get too close. These are light cruisers after all. So the V18 and her friends. Oh, 280mm hit. Nicely done. We'll launch our torpedoes, and then we'll get out of here and just keep them spotted while we're still waiting for the König to actually get into range and be able to do anything about these things. But yeah, there comes the gunfire in from the cruisers. So torpedoes away, and we'll see if we can manage to hit anything. They are counter-dropping torpedoes. We're getting a couple of hits in with 105mm, but yeah, we definitely need to get out of here with the destroyers. Avoid these torpedoes if possible. They're Japanese torpedoes, so I have no idea what they're capable of. But let's launch our own torpedoes, and then get the heck out of here. I might have to... Okay, I might have to detach V-17. Make sure that she sails in a straight line. And then dodge that torpedo. And you detach as well. I think she's safe. Okay, I think we're safe. Nope, we need to dodge that torpedo there. Yeah, don't run into that. Okay, this left. I think we're good. Okay. So, we will get the destroyers to retreat. V-16 as well. Not sure if we're going to hit anything with our torpedo lines. But I think we have... Yeah, I think they've mostly dodged them. So here it's just really more a matter of getting out of here. And the König is still way away from things. Now these may be very long-running torpedoes, so I might have to steer in a little bit with the König and make sure that she doesn't run into them. Okay, destroyers are disengaging. They're no match in a gunfight for the light cruisers, so we'll just shadow them more or less. And let's go this way around. And I think we can get V-18 to be the lead ship again. Yeah, there we go. We're already taking gunfire here, so yeah, we definitely need to get out of here with the destroyers. And that torpedo, where is that torpedo going? I think that torpedo is safe if we're just maintaining... We're safe from that torpedo if we're maintaining straight course. And we've got another hit on one of the cruisers. But yeah, obviously these are cruisers. If they want to disengage, they can. I don't think the König is going to ever be able to catch them. But I think all our torpedoes have missed. So I think at this point the destroyers are just going to be shadowing. Maybe once they've got their torpedoes reloaded, we'll drop another load into the crowd. But all in all, it's not a huge chance of actually hitting anything with torpedoes. Well, let's see if they want to give battle, and if we can get the König a little closer. And maybe we can get some shots in. What do they actually look like, these Japanese light cruisers? Doesn't look particularly Japanese to me, the design, but yeah, definitely light cruisers with weird funnel arrangements they are. And they all seem to be of a similar class, so we'll see. Let's see if we can get the rest of the guns from the König to bear. What's our chance at here? It's 3.7%, which is still way too far off. We're scoring the occasional hit here. I think these are the secondaries already. Yeah, the 105s and the 88s are starting to score some hits. So very gently, not to throw off our target solution, we'll start moving and getting our guns on target and seeing if we can make something happen. And yes, the König actually has torpedoes of itself. Yay! Another hit. What have we? Oh, we've hit one of the torpedo launchers. They're all pretty clustered up, so I think a lot of the fire actually might hit them by accident. We'll see how that goes. Destroyers are getting a little close for comfort again, so let's make sure we keep our distance here while they're sorting out their battle lines. And the König is slowly chugging into range at 16 knots. And we'll see if we can score some hits. And we've got another hit. Over penetration on aft belt from the main guns. It's again, these really old ships are surprisingly effective at times. These were from the initial. If you've joined later, these were from the initial design that I've done. So I didn't want to design a brand new fleet at the start of the game because that'd be unfair. Because no navy starts from scratch with the most modern ships. So while we're observing the König shooting up these light cruisers, I I am actually planning to start a 1930s US series on the new channel soon. So this time around I will include the design for the initial fleet, because that seems to be something that last time that everybody was really keen on, to see more ship design instead of more battles. So I will be doing that as well. I'll have a sort of prologue series of the design for the US Navy setup 1930. I'm probably not going to be doing the full US Navy 1930 historical, because that'll be a lot. But definitely going to try to get some relatively some as much as possible historically accurate within the confines of the game designs, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, chances to hit anything from here is not so great. But yeah, so there will be a bunch of more torpedoes. Yes, more torpedoes actually. Interestingly enough, destroyers turn around. Just get out of there. Yeah, more torpedoes coming in. We'll be watching out for these things. We've got the Agano already relatively damaged, and I think my destroyers are actually doing pretty well as well with their little 105mm guns. But it looks like this thing's flooding in the bows and has lost quite some important bits of the ship. So I think by now the König is close enough that she will, yeah, 18% solution on the main guns, that she's going to start actually having a bit of an impact. And if she can land a couple good hits on old destroyer design, on old cruiser designs, yeah. You don't want a broadside, friend. These are 280mm guns, and you'll be surprised how effective these are. So we'll see. Maybe we can clean these. Maybe we can clean up these Japanese cruisers. Where's my destroyer group? Destroyer group is sailing away. Just bob and weave. They don't have their torpedoes reloaded yet, so it's up to the König to clean up. And she is doing, again, surprisingly well. And it looks like the Agano is taking on water around the citadel now. So the König is one of those designs that shouldn't really work that well anymore at this point, but does work surprisingly well. With the wing turrets and just the 150s. The 150s on these things are actually really good. I haven't really had... sorry, these are 105s, that's why. The 150s, they're much better than the 150s. Sorry, that's what I wanted to say. They're really good. They're much better than the 150s that I've tried on the other battleship series. And I think the Agano is going to go down pretty soon. The others are trying to circle around. And they are getting penetrated by the 105mm guns from my destroyers. Oh, torpedoes incoming. Where is that torpedo going? I think it's a very steep angle, so I don't think it's a problem. But we'll try to avoid it regardless. Okay, Agano is down. So let's dodge the torpedo if we can. And yeah, the König has got lots of guns on the other side as well. So straighten her out just to make sure she's launching her own torpedoes. And that just scratched the paintwork. Yeah, more torpedoes incoming. So straight course. She can take on. She's got turrets on both sides, so she can definitely take on more than one ship. And she's got a lot of guns. If you sail her into the middle of a conflagration of cruisers like that, she's gonna be unloading on both sides. So you better be careful. Okay, and we've managed to torpedo. The König just torpedoed a Japanese light cruiser. Well done, König. Yeah, like I said, these things absolutely rule. Let's get the destroyers back on target. And she's in her element. 280mm guns firing off port and starboard. And 16 knots. Okay, another torpedo. So let's turn Turn hard to port to avoid that potential disaster. And we'll see if we can dodge that. Turn hard to port. And yeah, there we go. No problem at all. Dodge the torpedo. And she is burning, of course. I mean, look at the damage she's dishing out in return. So we are, yeah, she's taking quite a bit of a beating, but she can take that. And these light cruisers don't have particularly large guns, so I think once the König is making her pass here, concentrate fire on the Jura, please. Once you get the angles from the guns, and yeah, shredded to bits. So at this point blank range, even the 88s, and have we launched another torpedo? Oh, it was a dud torpedo. The König didn't get another torpedo hit. Oh, that's a shame. I mean, she got a torpedo hit, but she did not get a torpedo detonation. Where are my destroyers right now? My destroyers have their torpedoes reloaded. So target that light cruiser, smoke up, and get your torpedoes away, please. And then just maintain course here. So let's get the torpedoes away from here. The Jura is now sinking, which means we are now finishing off the Tsushima. Yeah, I see what you did there, Japan. At this range, the König is, I mean, the König is basically a heavy cruiser almost at this point, just with lots and lots and lots of firepower. And she torpedoed 2 light cruisers. Confirmed Nassau class is Nassau class OP. Please nerf. Have you gotten your torpedoes away? You have. So just keep circling them, and let the König deal with the rest. We're going to perform a sharp turn here, and see, that is going to throw off our solution a little bit. Let's see if we can finish off the Tsushima, and then the Kitakami is the last one that we need to catch. Obviously, catching a Japanese light cruiser in this thing is not going to happen. So we may as well already turn our destroyers around and start unloading at the Kitakami. Maybe we can land a couple shots with the 105s. Ah, never mind. We've torpedoed her. Yeah, I think she's done for. Never mind. Oh, Japan, you're so silly. Okay, mission accomplished. We have sunk most of the things. There is a torpedo incoming, and the Tsushima sinks as well. So I think everything is sinking, and that torpedo is not going to hit the König anymore because the battle is over at this point. Okay, so Japan, not particularly dangerous at this point. And Nassau class, yeah. On another level, really. On a completely different level. So yeah, that was an engagement in the Yellow Sea, and a bit of a fun one at the end. What do we have here? What have we sighted here? French destroyer, and there's still a Soviet battleship around. So I think my battle group is going to try and intercept that battleship and heavy cruiser. And that last strugglers, I guess, in the, oh yeah, no, never mind, we're actually intercepting them already here with our heavy cruisers. So that's going to be an interesting one for next episode. We'll see if the 2 heavy cruisers can actually take on a battleship and a heavy cruiser from the Soviet Union. We will see what they end up doing. But yeah, that's it from me today. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you next time for, well, I think we're getting relatively close to actually defeating the Soviet Union, hopefully. I think navally we've pretty much defeated them. Let's have a quick look how much navy they have left. 17 ships, 2 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers, 3 light cruisers, 8 destroyers, and 2 submarines. Yeah, I'd say the Soviet Navy has been comprehensively defeated. Who else were we fighting? are we at war with the French? I believe so. The French have a couple of ships. The Empire of Japan has a bunch of light cruisers and destroyers. The Japanese have a little bit, and the British actually have the most active fleet here, but the British are out of the war at this point. So because they're still at war with the United States, I think. So, well, there we go. And that's it for me today. Now for real. See you all next time. Bye bye.